Hey everybody, it's Tony Kriz again. We're here with Off the Highway. Today I'm going off the highway with that guy, Romal Toon. He's the author of God's Graffiti, Inspiring Stories for Teens. Romal, my question for you today is, I want to hear you talk about why you think God hides from us.
Oh my God, hides from us. Wow. That's a good question. I actually don't think God hides from us. I think
Okay.
sometimes we can be unaware of God's presence. Um, I think sometimes we wrestle with how to find God in the midst of various circumstances in our lives. And we oftentimes, because of distractions, of stress, anger, frustration, we miss God in those moments. I even think sometimes we miss God even in the good
Hmm.
times, because there are instances where I think we can now make it about us, even when it's good,
Hmm.
and miss the celebration moment where God is present in that too. So I'm not so sure that God hides from us. I think it's more so sometimes where we are not necessarily aware of God's presence, and we get focused on the distractions and those things that keep us from seeing the presence of God. But I have had those moments where I felt like, God, where are you? And I'm a little pissed with you right now. Um, and I certainly felt like God just left me. There have been those moments. There was that moment my mom passed. There have been those moments when I've like couldn't pay the mortgage. And I'm like, hey, God, I'm out here doing this for you. And I can't, I'm having a difficult time living indoors right now. What happened to all these things that I believe in your word and not happening for me? I don't know that God was not present in those moments. But I definitely felt like it, man. And it took time. And then over time, I was then praising God again for the breakthrough. Um, I think for me, sometimes my abandonment issues I project onto God.
Wow.
Um, and I had some real tough issues growing up that I talk about in God's Graffiti, that I project onto my relationship with God, and I have at times felt like, well, God's going to leave me too, just like everybody else did, um, rather than realizing that God is a lot different than the folks that let me down and disappointed me. So I think I brought some very human experiences into that relationship, which I think is natural. We are human, right? We don't lose that in our relationship with God. Um, but I think sometimes and looking at it, man, based on your question, yeah, my previous bouts of abandonment have made me feel like, yeah, God abandoned me too.
Hmm.
But I'm grateful that God has not let me down and has always been present. Maybe not in the way that I've always wanted, but God's presence has always been there.
That's so good. I think our own pain gets projected on our relationship with God. I think so much of it is perception, and I think there's a certain sense. What I heard you saying is sometimes some of those moments of silence almost make those moments of presence even sweeter because we know what it is to miss the Lord's presence. Anyway, Ramal, I love it so much. Everybody, that's Ramal Toon. Check out his book, God's Graffiti. Thanks, Ramal.
Hey, thanks for having me.